Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum and what's going on? I'm coming to you right now, Imani Muhammad, just to shed some light on a topic, a very hot topic that I've seen across my Facebook feed. I don't know if this is in Portland, Oregon, or a national conversation, but I wanted to just put my little insight on it. So I am a educator and a youth development professional for the last 25 plus years. And so my insight is going to be obviously with that background, and also considering that I've witnessed our young people's generation and our culture and a lot of different things just shift in our world, right? And seeing how our young people process information and just seeing the state of our children today, right? So I just want to address this topic around promotion versus graduation. Hot topic, hot off the press. Here's my take. 5th grade, promotion. 8th grade, promotion. Senior year, high school, graduation. Senior year, or more than that, in college, graduation. The words in and of itself definitely represent something different, promotion versus graduation. But this topic around, should we be celebrating our 8th grade children the way that we do high school? Let me give you a few statistics that I know is real for a lot of us. First and foremost, our young people today see education completely different than the way you and I did. If you are 40 and up, I would say we were raised a little bit different in terms of getting an education and the value of education. The education system has actually dropped in terms of quality and value. And what our children are actually learning, even today, is not applicable in their lives. More importantly, the teachers don't even really want to teach anymore. That's a generalization, but at the end of the day, that's what's happening. There's more social work and mental health and social emotional skills and techniques that have to be taught in this educational system and inside of classroom doors. And if you got 30 students in your classroom, who's really getting their attention? So the educational system in and of itself is flawed. So the children today have really checked out a lot earlier than you and I would have. So while 8th grade seems like, come on, of course you're supposed to go to 8th grade, of course, we still want to celebrate that. Any milestone, any mark in a child's life, we want to celebrate. We do more criticism than celebrating. So why not celebrate an 8th grade promotion? What's wrong with that? Secondly, when you actually do research around education and the top indicators that inform graduation rates, it is this 8th to 9th grade transition, which is partly why my nonprofit chose to do our 2nd year a signing day for 8th grade. We want to really just focus on that, highlight it, bring attention to it so that our young people understand that these are milestones that we want to celebrate. And we want to make sure that they understand that this transition moment from 8th to 9th is the most important and the most critical transition that correlates directly to graduation rates. Here's some statistics here in Oregon, all right? This is from the ODE. In 24-25, the overall graduation rate was 82.5% for students in Oregon. When you layer race into that, it's 75.5% overall graduation rates. If you know grades, 75% is a C. If you live in my household, A's and B's is what flies. So C is not great for me. So that's graduation rates, right? And we know that there's a direct correlation between graduation rates in high school and whether or not students are post-secondary ready for the next level, okay? Another indicator is that 9th grade attendance is actually one of the highest predictors than 8th grade test scores. 9th grade attendance is one of the highest predictors over 8th grade test scores, whether or not a child will be on a path to graduate. So again, if we're not celebrating these milestones and recognizing the completion of 8th grade, some of our students will check out. And that turns into not going to school, not going to class. Truancy, which is a direct correlation to whether or not your child will graduate. So for me, I'll say this. Yes, there's a difference between promotion and graduation. But should there be a difference in how we celebrate our children? Now, do we want to celebrate our children, but they're struggling in reading and math, or they got kicked out of several middle schools, or they've been disciplined too much? Yeah, that celebration looks a little different. But overall, if your child has completed certain milestones in their lives, we need to be able to celebrate that and recognize that. It's the old psychology of rewarding good behavior. Why not celebrate our children, give them an opportunity to be seen, be celebrated, be honored, be looked at by their community, and just take a moment to say, good job, right? We don't do enough of that in our community. So whether you call it a promotion or graduation, although the definitions matter, I say you celebrate every moment that your child or any child that you're around has completed a milestone that matters in their educational journey. That's my take on it. What y'all think? Peace.